Hey, this is Steve DiGiorgio from Death, DTA, Death to All, and you're watching Planet Metal.
I'm here with Steve DiGiorgio. He's currently on tour with Death, which is called Death to All. What's the idea behind that? It's a tribute to Death, the band, and Chuck Schuldiner. Who came up with the idea in the first place, and when was that?
Well, the idea was not thought of by anyone in the band. It was based on people wanting to see this happen. I guess more specifically, the idea came from a couple of guys who work for Sick Drummer, Ian and Anton. Thought about putting a group of ex-members together and just going out and just playing the songs for fun. And we did that the first run with a big lineup and did rotation. You know, different members played on different songs and stuff like that. And it went over okay, it went over pretty good, but when the demand was there to do it again, we decided to scale it down to just one lineup, like kind of like a normal band looking, no rotations and no more guests. And yeah, and like I said, when the demand was there, and I mean exactly that. I mean, we're not promoting any new product. We're not like a normal, on a normal tour cycle after a release or something. We're just, you know, playing songs that we participated in a couple decades ago. You know, and the idea was there to do it. The promoters took it and said, yeah, we want this show. The tickets are selling. So we're just trying to make it a fun time. That's it. It's really not super serious. We're just playing songs that we are part of and hope to give people a good show, a chance for them to just kind of have an hour or two of nostalgia. You know, not really worried about anything else past that.
But the only record Paul, you and Shaw were together with Chuck was the Human record in 1991, I guess, because the musicians were always in quite a rotation in the band. I think there's no record with the same lineup, is it?
No.
Exactly the same lineup.
Some guys carry over and stuff, but no, it never repeats.
Do you think the people will think this is a kind of a sellout or desecration or something? Because I've read some rumors in the internet, people talking in the forums and things like that. What do you think about that? What do you tell them?
Well, I've heard some of that stuff, but only recently. Because when we started to do this, we never had any kind of ideas like whatever you just said, like selling out or whatever. I don't even know what that means in this case. I mean, I don't have anything to say to those people. I guess those are the type of people that'll find something negative anywhere they look, because we're just simply one-time ex-members of this band playing old songs with obviously the main guy being replaced, but we're not hiding it. We're not playing any tricks. We're not, you know, it's not exactly like a cover band, because a cover band is just musicians playing songs playing songs that they like. Well, we are musicians and we are playing songs we like, but we also are part of the original creative process of these songs. So it feels like a step above a cover band, but definitely not the real thing. We never pretended to be the real thing. We never thought that in our head that it would appear that way, because we came into this thing with just the main objective of just having a good time and meeting some people. You know, I mean, we're all 20 years older than when we made those albums. And we didn't think back then that we'd have a chance in 20 years future to do this. So it's just purely for fun. You know, we give it a good show. We play well. You know, it's not so easy to play stuff you played when you were 19, 20 years old in your mid-40s. You had to work up to it and stuff. So it's been a great opportunity for us as musicians, but we don't get anything out of it for the future. I mean, there's no residuals coming our way. We're not digging into the fortune that is Death. We're just playing the songs. So I don't know, if people see it negative, then I guess don't come.
The songs for the set list are mainly of the Human album, and I think individual thought patterns, and some really old stuff is there. How did you compile the songs? Is it just songs you like to play personally, which you have fun playing, or is it songs Chuck would have liked to see on the set list if he were still alive?
No, neither. Actually, we had a target to play something off each album, so we each picked one. And for the older albums, the material's a little easier, so we play a couple from the older albums and still just one from the newer albums. And you're right about the majority of the set list being from the album that we played on together. It makes sense. We're here together. It's the only album of death where you have that lineup. You know, we can all play, all the Death members can play all the Death songs, but we have a cool, you know, type of reunion thing, the three of us. So we based the set around those songs that we helped create, but we're playing old stuff and new stuff. And the decision of what songs to pick were, you know, ones that we can still play convincingly. You know, we're not going to try to jump into some, you know, some kind of physical storm and just make this disaster. You know, I mean, we're on the edge as it is. So we played the ones we thought we would be comfortable with, and we could make them sound good and make them sound real. You know, otherwise it would just be, you know, half-ass attempt at something, you know.
And when you came together to rehearse the songs, was there a kind of odd feeling? Kind of could feel the spirit of Chuck in the room or something?
Well, we didn't rehearse.
You didn't?
No, there was no rehearsal. We had a chance to work out some unique connections between the songs in the first club. We had an early setup time, but we didn't have like a real band rehearsal.
Like here in Europe, in Hamburg?
Yeah, Hamburg. We got there a day early, and it was mainly for the crew to learn the gear, because we have a movie that plays in the middle of the set, and we have a lot of new equipment, and you know, they wanted to set it up and run through everything, so we got to have almost a full rehearsal. So, but before we got to Hamburg, there was no rehearsing going on.
That's amazing. It speaks for you as a musician, I guess.
I guess if someone was saying that, they would come from the point of, look at me, but I'm using it as an excuse. I'm looking for a way out. And in other words, I apologize for us not rehearsing.
We will see how it sounds tonight.
We're on our, what is it now? Show number 6, I think, of the tour. So we've had 5 rehearsals now officially.
I heard parts of the money of the shows is going to a relief fund, which is called Sweet Musicians Relief Fund, which was founded after Chuck's death. I think, was it his wife who founded the relief fund?
Man, it'd be nice to have a great answer for you. I'm not sure when it was founded, and to anticipate what you're asking, I'm not entirely positive this tour is donating to the charity or not. I would guess yes. But last tour they had logos everywhere, and it was really obvious. Like, people were saying that money's going to charity, and this time I haven't heard it. But it might just be that I wasn't in the place when it was said, so I'm not sure.
But do you know what this fund is for? Can you explain short?
Yes. Like I said, I don't know when it was funded. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was because Chuck. Maybe it existed before. But I know it's a charity foundation that collects money that will donate to musicians in need of health care that do not have health insurance. You know, and that happens a lot in the States. You know our situation over there. I don't need to compare it to yours because we don't live in the same country. But in U.S., I would say virtually everyone who has health insurance gets it through their place of employment. So a musician doesn't really have a boss or a corporation that provides insurance. So you have to go get it your own. And, you know, when you're young, you don't need to go to the doctor. You know,
you don't care.
Yeah, exactly. You don't care. You don't prepare. And so then, boom, something happens, and oh crap, I need a doctor. And the healthcare the prices are ridiculous. It's astronomical for anything simple to obviously serious stuff. It's brutal. So this foundation will, from what I understand, they will donate to the musician and just say, here you go, we're going to help you with some of your bills, I guess.
They provide an insurance for musicians which are basically unemployed.
They don't provide an insurance, they provide a donation. So they'll, I don't know how it works, but they help with the bills. I guess a musician living alone, maybe, who spends a lot of time on the road away from his place, doesn't have to worry about it. But when you raise kids and stuff, I mean, you have to stop thinking about yourself. So I've always taken care of it. So all the debates on the TV about the care and all that kind of stuff, I don't pay attention, because I've taken care of my shit.
So the trick is just to stay healthy.
The trick, yeah.
Don't get sick.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Never get hurt, never die. We have mandatory auto insurance. I mean, you're not even allowed to have a license anymore unless you have insurance for your car.
Yes, same here.
Yeah. So what's the difference? Not
car is more important than you. So
seems like, right? According to the law. If somehow we can circle this back around to Chuck, you know, that's what he mainly suffered from, was not having the proper insurance to take care of what he had. Even though I believe what he suffered from didn't have a high cure rate anyways. But, you know, he had to find alternative methods because he didn't have an insurance company behind him to give him, you know, top care. And so it's relevant. It's like, you know, not only did we come from doing this tour from just, like I said, a point of view of just having some fun, just providing fans with a chance to see it. But, you know, if we're going to take Chuck's creations, his intellectual property, and, you know, we're going to go out there and make money to play, and we're going to sell T-shirts and all this stuff. I mean, why not show people that we're indeed not trying to cash in? So we involve the charity. It can't help him anymore, but, you know, maybe the cause and what he suffered from could possibly help someone else. So, you know, back to the original insurance question, you know, you know, helping the charity to help other musicians. I mean, if that's selling out, then I guess I'm guilty.
A little question on Chuck in the end. When you met him the first time, or when you spent time with him, how was he like as a private person, or as when he was writing music or something? How was he to work with?
You know, it's funny, that's the #1 common question in any interview about Chuck. What was he like? And
I never met him, so I have to ask you.
You know, every single person that has ever come in contact with him would give you a completely unique answer, because everyone had their own unique situation with him. You know, he wasn't a totally normal, boring, average guy, that's for sure. He was a very unique personality, so he was easy to be viewed in a, you know, in a unique way. You know, some guys came and went fast, and maybe when they went, they kind of left on bad terms, so that opinion would exist for that person. Maybe some people knew him periodically and didn't get to see the deep personal side of him. I happen to be someone, we met when we were 17, I think. He had just finished Mutilation demo. 17 or 18, something like that. And I stayed close friends with him until his last days.
Do you think Chuck's with you there on the stage playing as in the background somewhere, and I think he's somewhere laughing about it and wishing you luck and all the best, I think. Do you think?
Well, we hope so. All I know is we're safe now from him hiring any lawyers to go after us for it. So no. I seriously, you know, I'm not into the metaphysical or anything like that, but we did try to bring him as much as possible. You know, we were the ones around him. We were the ones who did play these songs with him. So in that, you know, you're getting something of the real thing. We have a nice memorial movie that we play that's just a compilation of, you know, some behind the scenes, you know, him, you know, walking around town, him in the studio, him at home with his family, him meeting fans.
Private stuff.
Yeah, it's just a mashed together collage, and we play the movie in the middle of our set so people can see him and hear his voice and see things he did that weren't just standing in front of a microphone. And, you know, so he's there. You know, his mother, his sister, and his nephew have come to our shows. You know, of course we've met them. We've eaten family dinner with them, and they recognize us, and they're totally behind this. You know, they like us doing this because it's hard to let someone go. And you know, Chuck was, you know, for a 10-year period, he was creating music, but it seems like since then he's really, isn't that the case though? Someone dies, they become way more famous, right? And it happened to Chuck. People discover him. You know, and we see a lot of young people at the shows that never got a chance to see Death when Death was playing as a real band. And, you know, so it's hard to let someone go. And I think they feel maybe with us carrying on his music and stirring it all up, and the fans are more, you know, it's just because there's, like I said in the beginning of the interview, there's no new product. There's no new album. We're not like a normal band pumping something. So the fact that we're just doing something in kind of retrospect, in a nostalgic way, it kind of brings the memories up, and it almost seems like, you know, it's a good chance to just remember him and
keep the musical heritage alive.
Yeah, just keep it going. The family appreciates it, and you know, there's no mandatory attendance requirements. So if you think we're selling out or being stupid, don't come, because we're just playing songs on a stage. You know, and if anybody knows anything about the way business works, even if we had a master plan to cash in on something, I mean, how much will we get? Nobody really makes a lot out of this. There's not, you know, you see the size of place we're playing. This is a bit smaller than we've played on this tour.
But it's sold out.
Yeah, but look how small it is. My point is, it's not on such a scale that we could be accused of something so horrible, even if we were doing that. You know,
what do you mean?
Yeah, there's plane tickets and equipment and buses and fuel, and there's a lot of costs involved. There's really not some major fucking profit we're gonna go home and laugh our way to the bank with now.
Didn't expect that.
No, I'm just but I'm kind of answering again to the people who want to accuse us of that, because it kind of came up lately, I guess.
Yeah, when you surf the internet, there's a lot of stuff going on about it because, yeah, you know, people talk.
I keep myself naive. I keep myself out of the loop, because all it does is just bring up a bunch of talk and worry, and we don't need it. We're too old for it, you know. Just we have just enough energy to get up there and play the stuff convincingly, and after that, there's nothing left.
And remembering Chuck, of course.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole reason we're here. We're keeping Chuck alive by doing it. He was our friend, and yeah, if he was here, he'd give us a thumbs up, trust me.
Steve, it was nice to talk to you, and keep the spirit alive.
Yeah, thanks for the honest questions, man. It's good to have a Chuck. But yeah, nice to be here in Vienna, so thank you very much.
Thanks. Nice to have you here.